Sorry, I was checking the planner in my phone really quick. I was trying to figure out when the last Fright Films episode was. It feels like it's been a few weeks, so I was just checking it out. Let's see, we're in April now. Alright, March. Okay, there's nothing there. Alright, let's try February. January? Here it is. Okay, last Fright Films episode was the Christmas special on December 24th. Okay, so it's been a little bit since we had a Fright Films episode. I guess that means you've been seeing a lot of that guy. Hey everyone, Ryan Reed here. No. This is Fright Films, okay? This is my show. Alright? This is button-down shirt and tie Ryan, not dresses like it's still 1996 Ryan. Anyway, since we haven't had a Fright Films episode in quite some time, I thought now would be the perfect time to tackle something that people really wanted to see. A lot of people seem to really dig the Hey Arnold Haunted Train episode I did of Fright Films a while back, and after that I got a ton of requests to take a look at other Hey Arnold episodes. And so today, that's exactly what we're going to do. So start humming that wedding march, everybody. Today we're going to take a look at The Ghost Bride. I'm Ryan Reed, and this is Fright Films. Ghost Bride is an episode from Hey Arnold's 5th season. Specifically, it's episode 22, and it's paired with the other 11-minute short, Gerald vs. Jamie O. From what I can tell, it aired on November 11th, 2003, making it one of the final episodes of Hey Arnold to air in its original run. This made it fascinating to look at, considering the other Hey Arnold episode I've discussed, Haunted Train, is one of the first episodes of the show. Ghost Bride was written by Steve Vixton, who was one of the 3 developers of Hey Arnold, along with creator Craig Bartlett and Joe Ansalava here. He was also the voice of Oscar Kokoschka. Vixton also wrote and co-wrote a ton of famous Hey Arnold episodes, including Downtown as Fruits, 24 Hours to Live, and Wheezing Ed. The question is, does Ghost Bride live up to those classic episodes? Let's take a look. The episode begins with the group walking past an old cemetery, which creeps Harold out to no end. And this gag that runs throughout the entire episode, and actually a lot of the series of Harold actually being something of a coward, always manages to get a few laughs out of me.
We're all here except Harold.
I'm here. I'm scared and we're all gonna die, but I'm not.
It's here that the story of the Ghost Bride is actually brought up, and Sid encourages Gerald to tell the story since he is, after all, the keeper of the tales. However, this enrages Curly, who also knows the story and wants to be the one to tell it. But, much to Curly's disappointment, Gerald begins the tale. The story revolves around a bride who is left waiting at her wedding altar for her husband. The husband never shows because he's in love with the bride's sister, and the two get married the next day. Later on, in a fit of madness, the bride puts on her dress, gets an axe, and kills the 2 lovers. When the police arrive, the bride is sitting next to the bodies, throwing rice and humming the wedding march. She then jumps out a window to her death. By the end of the story, Curly adds that tonight is the anniversary of the bride's death, and so the group decides to meet back up at the cemetery that night to discover whether the bride truly exists or not. However, all the boys tell Helga that she can't go with them because it's a boy thing. And this felt strange to me considering how many times Helga has gone on adventures with them, and it's mostly an excuse so that Helga can dress up as the bride and scare the boys. And scare them she does. Throughout the night, Helga sets up all kinds of pranks to terrify the boys, only to have her own encounter with another ghost bride, the real ghost bride, causing her to flee in terror with the rest of the group. After that, it seems that the ghost bride has everyone trapped in a mausoleum, but Arnold and Gerald get enough courage to go out, confront the ghost bride, and see what's going on, only to discover that the ghost bride is none other than Curly, trying to get revenge on everyone for not allowing him to tell the story. The episode ends with the rest of the group having left Curly tied up in the mausoleum, and Arnold, in a very non-Arnold move, declares that it would only take Curly an hour or so to figure out that the door isn't locked. Left all alone, Curly hears the humming of the wedding march outside and screams. Overall, it's an enjoyable episode of Hey Arnold. However, for me personally, it never quite reaches the heights of some of the other urban legend episodes like Four-Eyed Jack, Wheeze and Ed, and of course, The Haunted Train. And I think that comes down to two factors, one of them being a lack of tension, the other one being a rushed pace. The story of Ghost Bride is creepy on its own, and there are some incredibly well-framed shots, like the silhouette of the Ghost Bride standing in the door with the axe as the rain comes down, or the shadow of the axe coming down as she's killing the lovers. Those are some really great moments, but the animation, color palette, and shot choices don't really bring out the dread that other classic Hey Arnold tales manage to do. Also, the fact that for half of the episode, we as the audience know that Helga is the ghost bride drains it of a lot of the tension that they could have developed. Arnold episodes like this are always better suited to have the mystery unfold in front of you, only to discover that the mundane is behind it. Knowing that everything is mundane from the beginning doesn't create any peril for our characters. And when the ghost bride, aka Curly, does show up, then the horror aspects begin to elevate. But once Arnold goes out to discover what's really going on, we as the audience don't fear for the characters because Arnold isn't afraid. There's no aha moment because we see very quickly that Arnold knows something is going on. What I think this episode could have really benefited from was being a two-parter. If they had dedicated 22 minutes to it instead of 11, a lot of these issues could have been resolved. For example, it would have allowed time for the story of the ghost bride to breathe. And even if we as the audience knew that Helga was pretending to be the bride for the first half, it gives us a great twist ending for the first part when Helga discovers the real ghost bride. After that, it allows the second half of the two-parter to be dedicated to the horror and the terror of the group being stalked by a ghost. Of course, these are just my personal feelings. The episode does have some great atmosphere once they're in the cemetery at night, and like I said, the story of the ghost bride is inherently creepy. The episode is still a ton of fun, and I understand why so many people wanted me to talk about it. If I was a little younger when the episode aired, or if it was one of the first episodes of Hey Arnold I saw, I could totally see the ghost bride leaving a lasting impression on me. And on top of that, I am so incredibly happy that people have such great spooky memories surrounding this episode. But no matter what your feelings are on it, the Ghost Bride has cemented itself as part of Hey Arnold's creepy catalog. I'm Ryan Reed. Go watch some Hey Arnold.